Yo, what up, what up? Good morning, GMG. Yeah. Monday, January 5th, 2026. Woo, look at that. Another beautiful day to have a beautiful day. Another beautiful year to have a beautiful year. Look at that. First show of 2026. The boys are back. Happy New Year, everyone. The market's pumping. You love to see it. Vibes are high. Tyler, Mando, good morning. How you guys doing today?
Fantastic. How are you? It's good to be back.
We're back.
Weird not doing this show. Weird. I didn't do the minutes either for a bit. So kind of wild. But it seems like a good start to the year. Feels like maybe we're going to going 100K here.
Ooh, I like that. Oh, I like that. Quant talk. It's definitely fun to start the year with a pump, right? Like everyone, today's the day that everyone gets back at their desk. I think Tyler and I were talking about this last week. Like Christmas and New Year's Eve were both at this weird time. It's like Wednesday and Wednesday. So it's like a whole 2-week off. It definitely felt super weird not to get up and have the show going. But this year's going to be a big one. I can feel it for everybody, for the show, for YEET, for MYRIAD, for all of us. So I'm feeling good about this. So Tyler, how you doing? How was your New Year's Eve?
I'm good. New Year's was great. I feel totally rejuvenated after the time off and ready to get back at the desk. And I think these green candles are helping a little bit. Folks don't remember. I mean, vibes were pretty bad there late December. We all needed a break. And the vibes are better now. Look at that.
Yeah.
So excited for 2026.
Definitely, the vibes definitely better. It's funny how memes running, specifically meme coins running, changes the energy around CT. You see much less. I think I tweeted about this. You see much less CT is dead comments when the coins go up than when the coins go down. But anyways, I'm sure we'll talk about this today on the show. Classic. I mean, we'll start with the market. We have Mando. Curious how you feel about the market, etc. See if anything changed with the latest open now above 93K, etc. Oh, we did hit yearly open. Nice. Anyway, so we'll see how we feel now about the space. Maybe we could talk about what we think is going to happen this year. Maybe we could make a few little predictions. Tyler made his predictions, but we didn't have Mando, so maybe we'll get his predictions. Then Tyler's top 100. I'm sure Tyler's topics. Tyler's got a lot to cover today. Much of which might be political, right? It feels like it's all. I'm deep in like political CT now, guys. I've been monitoring a lot of situations in 2026. You know, it's been fun to be a boy on CT. That's
because like it's done right now. Everyone is having the same conversation. It feels like.
I know.
That's one of the big changes. You can feel it now. It's like we are just talking about mainstream stuff, not already crypto.
I know. We've like merged into Twitter is just because we've merged into the broader Twitter, right? First it was like Minnesota Twitter, and now it's like Venezuelan Twitter, and then I don't know, maybe we're going to merge into Iranian Twitter next. But it's been a lot of situations to monitor. So, anyways, let's see what Tyler's going to store for us. Then we'll be joined by Kane, who's already in this too. So later we'll talk about Infinex, Kane, whatever he's up to. I know they've had some announcements and tough stuff to talk about. So Kane will join us and talk about all of that. YEET. I mean, dude, new year. More money to give away. We need to make up the math of how much we give in 2025, but it's definitely up there in the 6 figures. The show's total is way above $2 million now. That's for sure. How much FOMO hour is given away to its listeners so far without asking for anything in exchange, really. Maybe sometimes we ask for a subscription on Kick, but that's about it. So we're going to be giving some more money today on YEET. Maybe some New Year lamb chop, maybe some New Year luck. And then that's about it. So without further ado, Mando, let's see what you got for us.
Who is the man, macro daddy of the land? Can you dig it?
GM, everyone. Yeah, we've had a stronger start to the year. It kind of was happening before the weekend. We started to see a little bit of a rally, and meme coins were definitely leading then. Bitcoin right now is hanging out around 93K, which is kind of where it's topped out more recently. So let's see where it goes here. There's no yearly open stopping it anymore, which I think was like maybe seen as one of the main reasons that was a ceiling. So I think it could have a little bit of a run here now. I'm still not overly bullish on this market. Like if you look, it feels like we're bouncing from a low, and the way that the market's bounced in that like it's meme coins leading the charge isn't. Yeah, I don't think that's like the most bullish thing. But at the same time, it feels as though we are probably going to get a more of a bounce here. I'd be very surprised now if this tops out at the yearly open for last year. I don't think that's going to be a point of resistance. So I would look for like the 98 to 100K range in this sort of a run, and then we'll see from there. There's a lot of things being pointed to as the reason why. I think obviously you had the news out over the weekend about Venezuela, and seemingly now more commentary around Greenland and basically the US making plays for major natural resources around the world, which might sustain the AI boom, so to speak. Like the reason why this is all seen as bullish really is that, you know, AI is going to need unbelievable amounts of energy for it to work out. And those sources of energy, although the US was always pretty comfortable, this opens those up for them. So I think that's kind of how it's feeding back and being seen as bullish for the overall economy. Whether this means anything for China and Taiwan, who knows? Like in some ways, it gives maybe Taiwan more of a scope to do something, and in the second, on the other hand, the fact that them and Russia weren't able to stop this, I think maybe gives people pause for thought. So in general, I would say that those weekend activities were bullish for markets, though I don't know if that was the reason for like crypto ripping. There has been some talk about the fact that Venezuela has a pretty large Bitcoin reserve, or at least it's very true that crypto is huge in Venezuela because the local currency has been a joke for a long time, and it's quite an easy way for you to transact in. So stablecoins are big, Bitcoin's been big. I don't read that much into that, but potentially the US is going to be able to see some Bitcoin here. I don't think so though. I don't think there's that much truth to that. We had we're having a rally here in tech, and then gold as well is heading back towards its all-time high, it looks like, or it's bouncing back towards there. So all markets looking pretty good to start the year.
I like it. What are your predictions for this year, Mando? How are you feeling about 26, the year of the fire horse? Ooh.
My predictions for this year, maybe they're boring, but my predictions are: I don't think L1s are. I think L1s are continuing not to be a great trade. I'm much more bullish on apps capturing revenue than the L1s. I think they won't do like terribly, but I don't think they are going to be the best spots in crypto still. Like sideways, maybe slightly up, slightly down, but I don't think you're going to see 10. I don't think this is going to see an ETH 5x, Solana 2x, or anything like that. Like I think we're going to see tepid results there, but I do think that apps will continue to be relatively strong, or at least that's where you'll see the more parabolic rises as revenue gets, also when something becomes big, it'll just be like, oh my God, this is going to make like $1 billion, and they'll predict out revenue for the next 5 years, and suddenly you'll get some like parabolic move something like that. So that's where I'll look for in terms of, oh, this seems like an interesting one. Memes running at the start of this year is interesting because I also think that memes are less revenue based or value based. That they're not going to be affected by TradFi metrics coming in and under this lens. They're going to be like, well, we don't know how to value that. So these running kind of no one's going to say where they can stop out, but the charts of them look like difficult ones to buy for me. I didn't have any major Pepe or anything like that before this happened. Only really had REKT, but that's a slightly different sort of play in terms of it's a bit more like an app or a revenue based business than some of these other ones. I think Bitcoin let's wait and see. Like I think the privacy narrative can be strong, but I feel as though it got very crowded towards the end of last year, and that one. I'm looking maybe at Monero a little bit more. Like the chart looks like a breakout sort of chart. Zcash looks a little bit more like it had its breakout, whereas Monero looks like kind of looks nice, I would say. But there's not many charts breaking out to all-time highs right now, and that's where I like buying. So the stuff that I'm looking at right now is gold, Google. I think Google looks fairly decent, and then I'm looking a little bit at Monero. Yeah.
Wow, look at that Google chart. Beautiful. And yeah, Monero. So what's the, I see a lot on the time, like people are still like fighting about Monero and Zcash and timeline, it seems.
I don't really care about that, if I'm honest. Yeah. I think they both have some form of value to them. I think to say that they both don't have value, I think it's kind of missing the point. Though it does feel like Zcash perhaps will remain listed on exchanges, which is potentially valuable. I'm not somebody who's using them for the privacy, though. I'm just buying them for a trade. I don't know. Like, there's a lot of there's been some weird moves. Like, it feels like weirdly meme coins were kind of going it feels like they're slightly going back to like the MYRIAD era, or if like believe in something rather than the rotation era. Like I've seen that sort of comment used quite a bit more, and it's like, oh, like believe in the memes that will be multi-cycle memes, and they're going to do really well for a long time. I don't see new entrants coming in and buying meme coins. So like, if you take a step back, I don't see new entrants buying anything right now. I don't think people are coming in and buying crypto. So particularly not meme coins. So I think during these sort of periods, and these periods do happen in crypto, you have to think about what the people left want to buy, rather than what's going to attract new wallets. And I do think privacy is probably one of those. And I think good meme coins, as in like memes that we feel like we own, is probably another one. I don't know about a lot of the others.
Yeah, a lot of bounces on the major memes. I think, Tyler, you kind of covered that. Oh, Bitcoin's actually still going.
Yeah, they're moving. It's an interesting open. Like Pepe was up 70%.
Yeah,
55% was probably the bigger surprise to me. The big move in bonk. To me, it seems like a little bit of a measure or a signal on just crypto sentiment vibes. I see some candles and folks like a more of a risk on signal is kind of how I'm interpreting it. And granted, it's a move across 4 days, so let's see it go a little bit longer. But I guess my higher level thought is, like, for folks who were bearish in Q4, and I understood why. We've had a couple big things change. So one, I think the Venezuela strike shows a little bit more of Trump's hand and the strength and perhaps how aggressive he may be into 2026. I think that was pretty unexpected. And a bit of a game changer. And now perhaps deflationary pressure with oil and all of that narrative. And then also the AI improvements with Claude, and now more and more folks talking about the singularity being here and AI agents being able to self-improve and all that. And perhaps really legging up or reinforcing the AI trade. So like those seemed like two pretty important events that really all transpired across the last week.
Do you think those are crypto events though, or just like AI style events? I feel like the Claude thing is. Have you guys been using it at all, or no?
Never been on it.
Using it yesterday. I was like, look, I'm gonna try this to make.
Yeah, you said you're gonna become a millionaire with Claude, and I was like, that's impossible because you're already a billionaire.
Did I say that?
Yeah, you did.
Oh, I quote tweeted. Yeah, no,
Well, you somewhat said some.
I was using it. I'm using it for Mando Minutes. I was like, look, can you just summarize the sources and put them in a Google file for me? And it has been doing it. So like, it has been doing it. So that there is something to be said there about like if you do daily tasks on anything.
I saw Frank's thing, right? Where he was, by the way, how he's paying $2,000 a month in subscriptions, bro. That's crazy, bro. And your meme,
but yeah.
Mendo's meme about it was, I say, I got to share. It does deserve a screen share here. That was funny.
I'm surprised that didn't make more, more numbers.
It's hard. This new algo, it's real tough.
The new algo's the fact that I'm seeing some things, it's tough. The new algo doesn't show anything. So take us through this. Like, what's the whole thing? Like,
not enough likes. I was like, God.
Everybody on the show, can you go show some love to this banger? But so it's Claude.ai, and it's just I tuned into Rasmer yesterday because I was on the timeline. But last night, like I was on my feed and I just like saw Rasmer pop up and ping because it's so rare now. When I see someone on Twitter, like on CT, like pop up in my feed, I just click now. And I click on Rasmer's stream and he was like coding something. Rasmer's coding now. And he was coding something around clipping. And I was like, that's interesting, right? We have a show. So I'm curious to see how we can improve in the show, right?
So the things you have to do, you have to go to Claude and you have to pay for the like higher options. So this is not via the free thing. And then you download a Claude terminal onto your computer. And this is where it gets a little bit like, oh, I'm a dev suddenly, but it's not really. Like you download it and then it's an interface which is, I would say, somewhere in between a normal LLM interface and a more dev-like interface that you're running through a command screen. And you can tell it, look, dumb this all down, and then you can just give it tasks to do. So I said, look, and it uses your login, like, you know how if you open a web page on Chrome and you already have your login details saved, it'll automatically log you in. So it basically doesn't need credentials for things. It just goes in and just does them. So for example, like if I'm saying, hey, can you go to these news sources on Twitter or on Feedly or on this and just summarize the top stories for the last 24 hours and then put them all into an Excel sheet and sort them by what you think is the most useful. Like that's what I do every day. It can now just do that. So, and similarly, it could do, and it has access to anything on your computer, right? So it can write documents, it can, but it works kind of at the pace of the computer. So these things take a while to run. So if you tell it to do a task like that, it will try and automate certain things, but it will still be like running almost in the background. So you can kind of like check in on it every couple of hours and just see what it's been up to. But it is worth it. Like even just the process of learning to do this, I think is useful. Like even if you say, look, I actually just want it to book my next trip for me, or I wanted to like organize my calendar better, or I've seen some basic ones being like, hey, I've got all these calls per week, can you give me notes for them upcoming? So like see who's on the call and then give me some information about them and maybe something for me to prepare for each call or on a daily basis, something like that. So it can kind of, it goes beyond the LLM encyclopedia thing to actually like having a personal assistant for you. And I've tried to do this in the past and it's not been good. As in, I'm not a developer and it's just like, this is a real pain. And in the last month, so Claude shipped this new update, I think it's late November or early December. And that has become a lot easier. So it's kind of cool to just play around and make your day easier.
You use that, Tyler? I just made an account. I use a free account for now, but I guess I'll go pay for the whole thing after the show.
I haven't used Claude. I spent some time over Christmas break switching over to Gemini and just kind of doing some of the tasks Mando was mentioning, but with Gemini versus Claude. It's on my to-do list. It feels like a pretty big deal. It seems like a step change has happened, right? And that's where things get interesting. Like Tesla FSD, Teslas weren't that interesting until the full self-driving got much better. That step change. Now it seems like Claude is a step change, and we're gonna see more and more about it. And I think there was a narrative that AI really isn't that useful, that impactful yet. That, like, you know, big corporations are buying these packages, they're not really using them, blah 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 blah. But now, like, literally everyone can do natural language programming here, if not today, very very soon. Does seem like a big deal. Like, taking this back to the market, though, I think this is bullish macro head tailwinds, and while it may not directly impact the crypto trade, I think if you want crypto to perform well in 2026, you want a good macro environment. Like, I don't think it's going to just go gangbusters in a bearish macro year.
Yeah. Yeah, look, I think that's fair. I think it probably provides it provides something for people to be bullish about for the AI trade again.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't feel like the rally in Bitcoin was really to do with that, though. It kind of felt like, I mean, maybe the Venezuela thing, but I didn't really. It just felt like it was coming. Do you know what I mean? Like, for the 3 days before, and then memes started running, and then Bitcoin goes to like 93K. Like, I think narrative follows price. Like, that could have all happened, and you would have just been like, oh, no one cares about crypto, which is kind of what was happening for a lot of last year. Like, we had all these AI things happening and no one cared about crypto. So I think it's really just that you've seen a little bit of a relief rally for now, and then we'll see if that turns into something more. I do think and I tweeted about this yesterday, which is just the US play for natural resources here is pretty interesting. And
yeah,
the doomerism around their ability, like the fiscal situation in the US. Personally, like, if I'm in Europe, that's a real problem. You know, like, if my debt to GDP ratio is over 100% and I have no army, yeah, I'm not in a great spot. But the US just kind of does this stuff, and they just got so many levers. Like, it's literally now just inserted itself pretty firmly in the Venezuela situation. It's probably going to do the same with Greenland. Yeah. I think it could do it in various other places too. It's seemingly making a play for like a lot more of South and Central America, with Colombia and said it to Mexico yesterday. It's like
Cuba, Colombia.
Yeah.
Have any of you ever played Risk as kids? You know,
whereas like Europe is sitting there. There's no options. There's nothing like that happening. You know what I mean?
This is how it works, right? So you secure, you know, on Risk, you have to secure the you know, you have to secure a bit of everything. So yeah. This is my whole thesis for ETH, right? Wait until Donald Trump finds out that they call it digital oil.
Oh, right. That's your thesis for ETH. I was about to say, what the fuck are they going to do to ETH? You're going to Maduro Vitalik?
Well, think about it. If when they find out at the top of the food chain and they call it digital oil, then they're gonna come and seize all of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I thought maybe that was an interesting approach here. But I get it. This is interesting. We'll see where this takes us. But usually, like, historically, like, all these like war news like really like smashed us in terms of Bitcoin, etc. And I feel like for the first time, it kind of went the other way. Now, I'm not saying it's correlated. I'm not saying like the capture of Maduro pumped Bitcoin to 94K. I actually do not believe that. But maybe it's the fact that it was just not war, really. It was just in and out. Maybe that's what it is. But it was an interesting observation.
It's definitely bullish. It was definitely a bullish thing to come out. I think war, when it leads to uncertainty, is not liked by markets. War, when it's done on the weekend and over within a few hours, and essentially the US is being like, follow us or we're going to do it to the next guy. I think that's a pretty bullish thing, at least for markets, to just kind of rally off. So I don't know, like, I mean, you must be seeing what's going on in Iran at the moment. Like, that situation seems a little bit more like volatile, I would say, as in I don't know what the next person would be in that scenario, because I know there's some influence obviously there from like enemies,
Nobody knows.
but there's also just like there could be a very different sort of path there, and it could go down like more of a Pakistan style path with like a military rule, and I don't know if that's good or bad. So that one seems a bit more like unclear, I would say.
Yeah, I don't know. Nobody knows actually. I don't even think. I don't think Iranians know either.
Yeah,
It would be a transition government of some sorts. Maybe they would work with the Shah's son. See if he can take over. I don't know. I actually don't have no idea. I think the first step is get these people out. Second step, figure it out type of thing, you know? But it feels like the USA moved into the region just in case it does happen and they flee the country. So that's where I stand on that point is I hope these people get the fuck out of there. But, you know, I'm not sure that anyways, I don't want to get too political. So with that being said, you know, international law, guys, with that being said, oh my God. I think we live in really interesting times. I think we live in very interesting
times. We're like, CT is not monitoring global politics situation.
I have to say, the voice chat is monitoring so many situations at once. Like I ain't missing. I became a war expert over the weekend. Like I know everything now. I know about different like regiments in the USA. I know about different choppers and about all the different like, you know, things that you guys have, Tyler. Like, you know what? I may as well start using miles over kilometers now. I mean, nobody can talk shit about the USA anymore. You know, freedom is intensifying right now. Tyler came in this morning on the show, you know, his chest's up, you know, his head's up, you know, he runs the show.
I wore my American flag hat. That was a miss.
Oh yeah, there you go. You need to wear an American flag hat. You know, exactly. We're all war experts, but I have to say that it is impressive the speed of which the news comes on X, and it's really impressive the speed of which like you get information and like the different kind of information, right? Like you open Threads or other apps on social platforms, and it's a really different like world. And then you open Twitter, and it's like or X, whatever, and it's like a whole other like ideology going on. Not here to point out like what's best and what's not, but I find this app like really interesting for like, you know, if you can do your own critical thinking and form your own conclusions without getting drawn out too much to one side or the other. Like I think this app has really become like this really interesting place where you can, whether you want to consume crypto content or learn about AI, like different tools, like all the Claude stuff. Like I found that on Twitter or about politics, like there's really a little bit of everything. So it's really fascinating. And then whoever is running the White House Twitter account and socials is probably the best, you know, intern in the history of interns. So anyways, with that being said, there's that on the market. We're looking good. Bitcoin's 93.7. Ethereum, 3180. I do have a lot of ETH though. Not gonna lie, Mando, this is my main position right now. Again, like I said, digital oil, you know. And then the memes are still looking good. Tyler, I'm curious to go towards you because the trenches seems like they're getting somewhat of some air here, and this is where you thrive.
For daily NFT and crypto analysis. Tyler D on FOMO hour cause the kid can't miss.
Ready to bash some bears. Yeah, folks, crypto majors are ripping, flying this morning. Bitcoin at 3%, 93.6. ETH up 1%, 31.80. Solana up 0.25%, 135. We had virtuals up 25%. Top mover on the day. Render, BTT, and FET were also all up double digits. This comes after several meme coin majors had terrific starts to 2026. Some of the top movers year to date: Pepe's up 68%, Bonk up 57%, Pingu up 30%, Whiff up 46%, Farcoin up 43%. So the list goes on. So some substantial moves here over the last 4 days in a few different sectors of the market. Going through some of the headlines, Bitcoin ETF saw 470 million in net inflows on Friday, the first trading day of 2026. That is their highest single day total since November 11th. we had SEC Commissioner Caroline Crenshaw officially depart the SEC on January 2nd, leaving behind an all-Republican commission. We have consulting firms, Big Four. Now the PwC is going deeper into crypto, the focus on stablecoin and payments. So more proliferation in corporate treasury. Strategy added about 100 million in Bitcoin last week and 62 million in cash. So adding to both coffers there. Tom Lee, Bitmine, they acquired 33,000 ETH over the past week. They now have 4.14 million, 3.4% of the overall ETH supply. Bitmine stock also jumped 14% on Friday after news that Tom Lee requested this proposal to increase their shares from 500 million to 50 billion to fund more ETH acquisitions and other features as well. In token airdrop and protocol news, kind of catching us up over break. Lighter, they launched their LIT token, completed their airdrop on December 30th. It's trading at around 2.7 billion FTV. The Jupiter team is considering stopping buybacks. This was a big discussion over the last few days as well, sharing that the $70 million in buybacks they did didn't really move the needle for the token. So why continue to do them? Fogo officially canceled their $1 billion ICO, opting instead for a community-first airdrop model and mainnet launch on January 13th. Infinex, who we're going to talk to here in just a few minutes, they opened their ICO sale on Echo, selling 5% of INX at a $99.99 million FTV with a one-year lock. They also, just before the show, announced a few changes to that ICO. Lifting one of the caps and a few other feature changes as well. We'll get into that here shortly. Kaido shared plans to roll out new thresholds to try to avoid all the AI and bots kind of taking over their programs. And another big change from them. NFTs actually had a nice little start to the year as well. Punk's back to 29.4 ETH. We had a $500,000 Smiling Cowboy Punk sale yesterday.
Yeah,
that was an eye opener. It looks like it was a legit sale as well. And the meme coins, I kind of hit these already. Let's Bonk kind of came out of nowhere. The launchpad, they're back. Huge increase in trading volume, revenue, users over the past few days. Then we've seen a few other meme coins take off. Ponky is up 100% yesterday. White Whale back to 76 million. Nick Shirley, unfortunately, even the Ansem pump was short-lived. Unfortunately for my bags. It spiked 4 to 5x and then has fully round-tripped the move.
Oh, no.
Like
Wait, you didn't sell the Ansem pump?
I did not.
You have to, bro. Have to.
Yeah, you know, I've been thinking about that. It's obvious in hindsight. I think an Ansem pump on a random token, I think, is always sell the news. I still thought, like, his thesis on Nick Shirley was aligned with mine, that this is the creator coin for Zora in base. The most viral guy on the internet. Like, if they can't get behind this one, like, none of the creator coins are ever going to work. And I thought maybe, and this, like, so Ansem's shill also came like just a few hours after Brian Armstrong said he called Thread Guy to talk about the situation. So I'm like, okay, maybe they're actually leaning into this. And given that Nick Shirley, the creator, he owns 50% of this. That's how the Zora model works. So the market cap was only like $6 or $7 million. Like, this guy, like, my thesis was, I want to see if this thing can go higher, and it didn't. So I was on the wrong side. It's not over yet. I haven't sold. Maybe
it's not over yet. We'll see.
Maybe it is.
I mean, he's pumping right now in the news that Tim Walz is dropping out. So essentially, 23-year-old took out a governor. Back to the Punk thing. I think it was Kozawa that bought it.
I was unclear on his post if that meant it was him or not.
It is now in a new custodial wallet, unrelated to my own. My bad. Unrelated to my own. Okay, cool. Or I don't know. Either way, that's a really sick Punk.
It is. Part of his thesis is that, you know, super aesthetic punks are better than just like a floor.
Yeah, always.
And I would agree with that. Yeah.
They're always going to have a premium. That's the good thing about like the mid punks, etc. You're always going to be able to get like Wiz. Like when the market punks were like racing to zero not that long ago, end of year, Wiz sold a hoodie punk for like what, 600K? Something like that. Yeah. Something along those lines. So yeah. So that's still impressive, right? Like he managed to get like $500,000 for a punk when punks were going down to like 70 something K, right? So the aesthetic punks like will always catch a premium. That's for sure. And then you have the high end punks, like they always end up selling for a decent price. So you love to see that. It's a good sale to start the year. There was also like the wash trading is kind of done now, right? The $0 sales. It's it's been nice to see on that front. Anyways, what else?
Let's see. The token buyback discussion, I think, is an interesting one, and I don't know if we'll have enough time to really unpack this here this morning. Maybe we'll talk about it on a future show. But basically, the Jupiter team has been making a big push. They've had tons of product updates, really ongoing, consistently. I think they're one of the bigger output teams we have. And then they just raised the conversation of, should we keep doing these buybacks? Like, we did 70 million last year and tokens still went down. So like, should we use those funds for other things? And it is it's a tough conversation. Hype kind of came out and made this meta. I think that's a fair thing to say, right? Doing 100% token buybacks and effectively turning the token into more of an equity play. And we saw some apps and teams follow suit. I certainly understand the argument that the funds would be better off used for growth and other things that the teams could do. The challenge is if you go that route, then like you have to have a real use case for the token, like because that's the easy way to say, okay, now you can just value our token based off revenue. And if you take away the buybacks, you kind of take away that valuation angle as well. Maybe that's not the right way to be valuing these things, but I think that is an important aspect of this. So I expect that to be a big topic of conversation for the near future. I don't think it's going away, because also like we're going to see a lot of tokens. Like, I shared a list a few days ago. There's going to be like 40 plus major token launches here this year. We've got some big ICOs in the pipe. Like Infinex is live right now. Which again, we'll talk to them in a couple minutes.
And they're all apps too, like good apps, right? Like Infinex, I'd like to argue, is a good app. You have the Poly Markets, a bunch of other ones that are coming out. I think Mando's thesis this year, he just said it again, it's like apps over L1s or chains. We talked about this a bit ago. I think Luca had sparked this conversation on timeline saying like, if your token's, entire, thesis that there's buybacks and it's really bearish, and buybacks should be the last thing that you do for a token. We talked about this very briefly on the show before. We can go in depth next show and talk about this, or we can just get me on the show at some point. But I kind of agree with that, right? Like buybacks should be like the last resort thing, or one of the last things that you do. And again, there's no two hyper liquids. Like everybody keeps saying there's gonna be another hype. Like there's not another hype. Like hype is a different animal. $70 million of buybacks, it's just not enough for Jupiter size, right? It just doesn't move the needle. And then imagine what you can do with 70 mil. So
I get it. It is, and I don't have the answers. It's a really
I don't have the answer either.
It's a tough problem.
But maybe they shouldn't. I don't know. Like I don't see Ovi, the approach is different with REKT, right? Like he does some buybacks here and there. They're unannounced. He doesn't really do it. Another one that's not working is Pump.
Well, yeah, and that's the cardinal, right? It's like you had Hype, which did it, and it was perfect for them. And then you had Pump do it, and it kind of went the opposite way. And of course, those are two very different tokens as well, and two different teams and a lot of different factors at play. But they're kind of like the two biggest examples, right? And although maybe Pump bottomed, we'll see.
Maybe Pump bottom. I was going to bring it up, but it may be too late. But maybe we'll keep it for tomorrow, because I did look at the chart yesterday and I was like, so maybe it did bottom. But hopefully we hear from them. I mean, Q4 was supposed to be a big one, and then we didn't hear from them in the last 2 months of the year. So whatever's going on there, it would be awesome to hear from the lads over at Pump Fun. This market is doing good, man. This market is really doing good. You'd love to see it. Anyways, look. Unless you have anything important, we can bring Kane up, and then we can keep the rest of the topics for tomorrow.
Yeah, let's bring him up.
All right, Kane, are you ready? I see you in the studio. If you want to turn your mic and your thing, it's probably so late for him. It's probably so late for Kane. What's up, Kane?
Hey, what's happening?
Can you hear us?
Figure out how to turn on my.
Yeah, if you go on the StreamYard, there you go. Dude, wait, what time is it for you?
It's almost 3 a.m. and I've been up for about 20 hours. So yeah, it's been a day. Today.
I'm sure it's been a day. Ken, how you doing? Happy New Year.
Yeah, you too.
you're in the future. You celebrated New Year's way before us. How does the future look like for crypto? Please tell us.
It's looking pretty good. Looking pretty good right now.
I like that. Anyways, Tyler, I'll let you take this on. I'm going to share also my screen. Infinex came up with some news this morning, and let's dive into that.
Yeah, Ken, I think maybe let's just jump right in. It's late for you. We had Igor from the team on back in December to kind of talk more about the product and the vision. So I think today maybe we can just dig right in. A big announcement this morning. I'd love to hear it from your own words.
Yeah, so we announced this ICO about a month ago, and one of the things that we did, which is the same thing that we did with our patron sale, with the NFT sale a year ago, was offer locks, basically, like offer tokens at a lock. And 2024, September 2024 was a very different time. And so the feedback from basically everyone was, we don't want locks. That was the feedback, except for probably I had about 10 people who were like, this is great, I love it, but 2,500 is not worth it for me to even do the KYC on Sonar. And so you had this weird kind of barbell of like whales who were like, I want to put in 100K or 50K or whatever, being like, yeah, the terms are great, seems like a good deal, but I'm capped at 2,500. And then you had, on the other hand, retail people who were like, this is a scam, you're trying to lock tokens for a year, haven't you seen the market, et cetera. And so basically everyone was unhappy. And so what we did today was just say, look, we're not going to put cap in if you want to bid it, if you think that this is a good deal. But the thing that was stopping you before was the cap, then no cap.
And you kept the lock. So I want to talk about each of these factors. Why did you decide to keep the lock?
I think we still feel really confidently that if you offer liquid tokens super cheaply, you're just going to attract people who will flip it straight away, which is fine. Like, that's a game. I flipped some ICOs back in 2016, 2017. Like, there's no issues with that, but it's not necessarily great for the project. And as someone who has been trading for a long time, like, I know what the mentality is of someone who's looking to just buy a token and flip it a week later. They don't care about the project. They're just it's just a trade, right? So we are looking for people who are going to help us build over the next 1 to 2 years, and we want to build that community. We've got a good group of like 1,000 patron holders right now. But we want to expand that to 5,000 or 10,000 people, and the only way to do that is with a token and people who are kind of aligned and happy to hold the token long term.
And I agree with you on that. For what it's worth, I'm a fan of the lock, especially I think you and the team used evaluation you thought was thoughtful and perhaps even a discount. To where it could be trading, and then you also have the feature where folks can get around the lock if they want. Right, in certain situations. So I appreciate your thoughts there. Let's talk about the cap, though. So I guess you removed the cap. You kind of talked about why, but why did you put it in the first place?
Sorry, I just lost power there for a second. Can you just repeat that again?
That's like why you put the cap in the first place.
So the cap was intended to give everyone a chance to participate, right? If there's no cap, then you're going to get large buyers, whether it's 10K, 50K, 100K, whatever, that are going to come in and take the majority of the sale. And the purpose of this was to get wider adoption, right, and get a wider group of people. But unfortunately, the people that we were targeting with that low cap said, no, thank you. We're not interested. And the people who we excluded with the low cap were like, please let us have some more. So we just got it wrong there.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate the course correction
on
that one as well. So I guess impacts of this, is the sale still just running for today?
Yeah, it's going to run. It runs until Friday, your time. Yeah.
So we've got a few more days now to get in this. And this has been, I'm sure, taking up a chunk of the team's time.
It is. It's like, in hindsight, it's probably been negative EV, I would say.
Really? It's
oh,
tough, huh?
Yeah, it's, you know, we have two issues. We've got this hangover from Kaito.
Yeah.
You know, if you go and look on any of my posts, you'll see there's like hundreds of messages of Kaito, jilted Kaito people.
I remember that.
Because you know, we were, I think, probably like the third project to get a Kaito leaderboard, maybe the second project to get a Kaito leaderboard. So we were really early. I was super bullish on Kaito, and I still am. But the issue that I think Kaito had in that period is they went from a very curated group of like 1,000 people to 3,000 to 5,000, and they just like ruined it by opening it up to anyone. And that's not to say that like anyone shouldn't be able to participate. That's a great kind of, you know, principle. But if there's no filter whatsoever, then people are going to come in and game it. And then that's exactly what they did. You saw people running like AI bots and you know, doing these like follow for follow things, and you know, just kind of and like, I think this is the other thing as well, right? These people hate me now because I called out that behavior, right? But I've got nothing against it in principle. Like, it's okay if you're, you know, if you're kind of trying to grind your way to a 5K bankroll or a 10K bankroll, like, by all means, like, I'm not here to try and stop you. But it doesn't mean that it's good for the project. You know, if you're going to turn up and you know, try and grind 50 different Kaito leaderboards and, you know, run bots or run strategies, or, you know, that's not good for the project. If you can pull it off, cool. But you know, they I think fairly were very angry that someone called out this, you know, Kaito problem, right? And a lot of people on the timeline were frustrated with it at the time.
You're right.
But I think because we were one of the projects that was actually running a Kaito campaign, and we said, actually, this is a bad idea, we need to, you know, rethink this, and we shut the campaign down. They saw that as like a direct attack on their livelihood, which, you know, they didn't appreciate for like obvious reasons, right?
Yeah, I mean, you guys are a big project, you have a big following, blah blah. Like, people don't, you know, they don't like it, but
they don't like, yeah, they don't like it. They didn't appreciate it.
I think it's fair, but it's fair criticism in my opinion. But it's not just Kaito; it's just in full markets. These like platforms. It's,
well, you know, the funny thing is, all of them now are like becoming more curated again, right? Like, Kaito realized that they like kind of blew the thing up by not having any curation, and so it's getting more and more curated back down to that group of like, you know, a couple thousand people maybe who they're trying to you know, leverage to drive awareness or whatever for projects.
Right. They realized the problem. I think you were the first to really point it out, and unfortunately have taken the drawback because of that.
Crazy
Comments. Folks aren't talking about problems with the Infinex product. They're
no,
just from emotion.
they're saying I'm morally bankrupt and a scammer and a grifter and stuff. And again, like, I get it. Like, I you know, if I were on the other side, I probably would be running a PSYOP campaign against the person who said that, you know, InfoFi was bad as well, right? Like that. So, you know, it's just business, right? I don't take it personally, but you know, it is definitely hard at the moment with the overall market sentiment. And then you have this kind of cloud of FUD that travels around wherever you are. It's like, you know, I went to the Trump dinner in DC last year, and I turned up and there's like 500 protesters outside. And I was like, man, imagine if like everywhere you went, there are like just a crowd of people protesting like absolute nonsense. And that's how I feel a little bit like with the timeline right now.
Well, sorry to hear that. But I mean, I want to give you at least a minute or two to talk about the product itself. So you've been running out Crate Run, some incentives to do some trading over there. That's still going. TGE is coming up, I think, in January.
Yeah, and end of Jan. I think, like, talking about the product, right? You know, one of the challenges with sort of market positioning for Infinex over the last year has been that we had a bunch of things that people liked, and then we had a bunch of gaps that made it hard to use the product as your kind of primary crypto wallet or crypto app. One of the things we're missing is a mobile app. And we made a deliberate decision to not build a mobile app too early because we would have built the wrong thing. Now we feel confident and we've started building the mobile app because we know what we need to build. We also didn't build an extension because my thesis was like extensions are not going to survive another 3 years, right? We're gonna have better solutions out there. But today, almost everyone in crypto needs an extension. You really can't get away without having an extension. So we had to build the extension, which required a bit of a pivot. So, we built out cross-chain swaps. We support 20 chains. We built a perps interface. We built a ton of functionality, but there's still some gaps. Like we don't support hardware wallets. And a lot of people, that's just a deal breaker for them.
Yeah.
So we still have some gaps, but I think like broadly we've closed most of the gaps, and in the next probably 3 months we'll close the rest of those gaps. Funnily enough, you guys are talking about vibe coding, right? So I've been deep into vibe coding since like May of this year, April, May, and the first thing that I did when I got into vibe coding was I didn't want to do something in Infinex because I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm going to just go and do something fun. And so I built this game, which you can play, by the way. It's I just launched it like a week ago. It's called Tower Run. But I spent probably like 5 months learning deeply like how to vibe code, which models, like which platforms, etc. Building out a bunch of tools and really learning about it. And then I got to the point after I finally released this game, because it was just a hobby kind of project that I was doing, where I was like, all right, I think I can actually build some stuff in Infinex. And so over the last week, I've like gone and built a bunch of tools and features that I've kind of been missing. So one was like Zcash support. We didn't support Zcash. We support it with near intents, but not shielded Zcash. And so I built in like literally 12 hours a Zcash wallet that's powered by a passkey where you can use near intents to buy Zcash, shield it, and then send it wherever you want.
So we're going to be able to buy it. We'll be able to buy spot Zcash.
So you can buy spot Zcash today. You just can't store it in a native Zcash shielded wallet. But literally, as I was listening to you guys and waiting to come on, I was finishing off the little finishing touches on this thing. So what I needed to do, so passkeys have this really cool feature that just got released a couple months ago, where you can actually embed a seed phrase into the passkey itself.
Gotcha.
One thing I do like with Infinex is I do enjoy the login experience.
Yeah, it's clean.
With passkeys. So I think you kind of gave us a glimpse of the road ahead. So you've got some gaps that you want to continue to fill. I guess for someone, I want to give you a chance to kind of give the pitch here. Like the ICO is running still through Friday. For folks who have been on the fence about wanting to get in, like what should they expect? Like why should they participate?
I think again, the goal of this sale was to offer the token ahead of TG at a price that we thought was cheap, right? The Patreon NFTs are still trading at 300 mil FDV. This is 100 mil. So, it's a discount from the Patreon price. And the Patreon price, funnily enough, is down about 30% because there are a bunch of people who were kind of funded out of their bags, unfortunately, by the sale not going well, and which is it's a bit unfortunate, but yeah. So the pitch is basically we are building an application that will be able to do everything that you need to do in crypto. A single application that you can use on any device, desktop, mobile. You can log in, you can use dApps, you can earn yield, you can trade perps, trade meme coins, every single thing that you want to do in a single place. No more fragmentation, no more, of all of the frustrations and kind of annoyances that we've been dealing with. And we've spent the last 2.5 years building it. And the product is really solid. If you go and try it out, you'll see that it's probably one of the most unique experiences in crypto today.
I agree.
I love that.
And
it's true.
A good amount here over the last month, and I really do enjoy the user experience. So we're wishing you the best of luck. Kane, thanks for coming on.
Thanks, guys.
And talking to us about the ICO changes and the product plans and a lot more.
All right, get some rest, Kane.
Get some rest. If you're interested, infinex.xyz/sale. If you want to check that out, you can follow on X at Infinex as well.
All right.
Interesting combo, always good. That was my first time talking to Kane, so it was interesting.
Oh, was it? Yeah, he's a cool guy.
Firsthand.
Yeah, I interviewed him in Dubai, and we've hung out a few times. But yeah, it's a good team. They're just based on the other side of the world, so it's always hard to catch them. But yeah, well, the market is looking good, Ty.
It is 94K. We're on the doorstep, baby.
We're on the doorstep.
What's the key level? 94.5.
Well, I don't know what it is. It was 93.5, but like Mando said, like there's no more yearly high, right? And he's like, this is the same lines we've had on the show for, like we smashed through it here finally for the first time. It was here at my level 93.5, but he's right. Like there's no more yearly high. Like if you want to go on the 12-month chart, see we're a little above it, right?
Our female quant's calling for 100K.
Dude, we're looking fucking good. Look at this yearly chart. Unless it's here that you get smacked down. So if you're gonna get smacked down, it's here, right? I don't know. I got my ETH Farcoin barbell right now. This is my current trade setup. I figure I'd take one meme and pardon?
I think things have changed.
In what sense?
Mando didn't quite come across that way. I think he's a little bit more neutral, I would say. I'm more bullish. I really do think the Venezuela situation is a game changer for 2026.
Yeah, man, it's not too bullish yet. But it's the most in the market I've been in a long time. At least like a long time, months.
I mean, a part of the depression in December was like there wasn't much going on.
There's nothing going on.
Headlines had slowed to a trickle. I mean, that Christmas week, I was trying to come up with a couple of things. I just wanted to keep my Twitter active, and I was trying to come up with something to tweet every day, and it was nearly impossible.
Dude, there was nothing to tweet about, bro. I was tweeting about random shit.
And now we're back. Now we got some green candles. Folks are back at the desk. The headlines are going to start coming in. And like, I think crypto Twitter, CT also kind of died because it was somewhat algo changes, but it was also because no one was writing anything because there was nothing happening. And
there was nothing to write about.
Coming back. So like the vibes have gotten better. What's the bear case? Just 4-year cycle? Like I don't know what the bear case is for macro crypto here. I can't.
Yeah,
alts are overvalued. That's the one that I see. Alts
what is it?
The only bear case that I've really seen is that alts are overvalued.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not bullish on alts. I'm only like right now. I'm just majors and like the major memes. I do not believe alts are coming back here. Like the alts are useless compared to like. I mean, you can trade equities now in crypto. Like, why would I buy any alt for Google or gold? I can just go to Hyperliquid and buy gold.
Because they go up faster.
Do they though?
Yes.
Which alts? Like how which
alts? Lit is up 15% today. Like what stock is up 15%?
That's true. But that's a new one, right? I mean, like the alts people are stuck in. I guess
virtual is up 22% today.
Yeah.
And that's my counter. And like I think that the broad statement that alts are overvalued, like, okay, there's thousands and thousands of alts. Like, there's still going to be some good ones.
Yeah.
Right. So, like,
I prefer buying the memes. I prefer buying the memes.
That's going to be interesting, right? What the memes versus alts.
Yeah. Like my barbell lately, I think most of this cycle is going to, like this coming year, my trading strategy is going to be like a major and a meme, or like majors and memes. Right? Because if the alts are moving, you know the top memes are moving, right?
We got another glimpse of that.
Yeah. So I just want Bitcoin to break out here because I do think like, I don't know. I did buy a lot of ETH last night to see if I can catch a trade at 3,400, but I don't know.
It's lagging a little bit, right? So like we ETH got to 32 last night.
It's there now again.
It's now again, but Bitcoin's $1,000 higher.
Exactly. That's also why I'm buying it. I'm like, it's laggy. It tends to run after Bitcoin. We'll see. I had a good Solana trade the other day over the weekend, but we'll see. Definitely paying more attention. I'm not too bullish yet, Ty, but I'm also not I'm not too worried either, you know?
Yeah, I think we're all a little bit hesitant to get over our skis.
But it was the first time I actually went in heavy. Like this weekend, I deployed a lot. Like it was the first time I deployed this much since like October, maybe, you know? So I was not scared to deploy. And I think that was a big mental shift for me personally. And I feel like if it was like that for me, maybe like this for a lot of the timeline. Like I was not scared to buy 7 figures worth of crypto on Saturday night, you know?
I think 94.5 is still a key level because that's where we got a few times in early December, and then we just bartered the move.
Yeah.
If we get past that and clear it and like hold it, like hold 95 plus, then I think folks are like, okay, maybe this.
You're right.
Yeah, we'll see.
This is it. Oh, our quant Bernie just texted. He said, "This is it.
Wow.
The big moment. We've hit his blue line." The blue line.
Breaking news.
Just FYI, Bernie did say I'm the second best trader over the weekend. He gave me this title. Honestly, it was probably the biggest honor of my life since winning the soccer tournament in like 3rd grade.
Bernie's blue line has been breached, folks. This is breaking.
Do I hit the breaking news thing? Hold on, I'm just kidding. Anyways, oh fuck, I just saw the time. Let's give some money away. Let's get on YEET. Let's get on YEET. Let's give some money away. I just want Farcoin to break out personally because I actually rebuilt quite a position on there. So that $400 million mark for Farcoin has been historically, like lately since 1010, the mark where it gets smacked back down. Like the last rejection from 400 went down to 230. So that would be a nice one for your boy. All right, let me log into
these memes are still like, yeah, Farcoin with, they're both knocking on 500 million.
WIF too, dude. WIF is still yeah.
They're up there.
They're up there, man. They're still going. Like WIF is still a good trade, dude. Like if it wasn't Farcoin I was buying, it's probably another one. But I want to focus on
like WIF has been above Farcoin for months.
Gotta give it the credit it deserves, right? Like WIF have been and also they're active. They've been reply guy to me. They're reply guy to a bunch of people. Like I don't know. Like
I hear they're going to be on the sphere. I hear they're going to be on the sphere soon.
Actually, though,
that's a joke.
Oh, that's a joke. You got me with that one.
That's a joke. Yeah.
I have to say though, if they do make it on the sphere, it would be hilarious.
It would be.
All right, who won? Did someone win? Did I miss it? Okay, did I miss? Okay, sorry. Go ahead. Let's do it. All right, Mayra, congratulations on the first winner.
Winner of the year.
First winner of the year. You know, the only thing that's tough with WIF is the chart is fucked because it went to 7 billion, you know? But besides that, if you really just zoom into, like, you know what I mean? If you zoom it out, zoom into just the recent, it's better. But the only downside is that it went to 7 bill. Or did it?
No, it went to like 4.5, 5.
4.5.
Twice, though, which is insane. Wow. So we had 2 chances to sell it for.
Dude, that's insane. I'll never forget that. That was euphoric day. Pepe and WIF listed on Coinbase. All right, is Vera here?
Yeah,
is Vera here?
Yeah, King Veyron, I believe, is their handle.
King Veyron?
Yeah, I believe. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember King Veyron winning a few months back. I think he says, "Let's rub Mando a little." What are we playing? What are you playing?
I'll play Lamb Chop to kick off the year.
All right, you're right. Let's play some Lamb Chop to kick off the year. I wonder if they still have the festive one going on, or is it still there? All right, King Veyron.
Are we gonna get a Valentine's Day?
Oh,
parts.
Wait, insufficient balance? Oh no, I'm on the wrong here. USDT. Boom. All right, King Veyron. You know what to do.
Yeah, tell us how you want to play. Yeah.
You already made $500.
5 jumps. Okay, he's gonna start.
Let's start with like 5 jumps. All right, 1.
Oh no, Mando did not like the comment.
Mando did not like you saying.
Oh, no.
Mando heard that. You know, Mando. Every time we speak about him, his ear, he's gotta got that ear. You know, he heard you.
All right. Well, the good
he heard
news
you. He
is
said no.
This next run cannot be worse than that one. It is only it's up only from here. All right, let's run it back. Do you want to do 5 spaces again?
5 again. I'm assuming he says go again. Okay, come on. It's got to be better than the last one. It's already better than the last one. All right, it's 2, 3, 4 and 5. Yes.
Easy
Easy
five.
one.
Easy five. This feels like a tracks king.
This
Vera.
feels like a tracks.
What do you wanna do?
What do you think? What do you think, Veron? Two more. I like that. All right. So that would take us right before the tracks. And one.
Knock him out. Oh, baby.
It feels like he's got to go to the tracks now.
Definitely tracks now.
This is definitely a tracks one. Oh, let's wait for him though, because he did say 2 more. But I mean, usually, Ty, I mean, it would be really gross.
100% of the time here. 100% go.
Yeah, but Mando isn't actually controlling the game.
It's your call. All right.
Cash, no.
I think this is our first ever cash out one before the tracks. Who knows?
I mean, we'll cash him out, but I think I think this was like 11:30 run. What do you think, Ty?
Yeah, I think 925.
Because I don't like this run.
Yeah.
But usually you don't die right after saving here, right? Oh my God.
All-Star King
God.
Vera. He's on the All-Star list. Producer Charlie, add his name. The God.
Yo.
Incredible. All right. A history-making stop.
Yo. That was crazy.
Wow.
I literally just said you don't cash out before the track, and it won.
I said I would go 100% of the time, and he laughed in my face and said, "I'm not feeling it."
Oh my God, that was the most. He said, "I'm on the call with Mando." Yo, add Veron to that list, okay? Because we need a few of these people.
Yeah.
Wow, what a start! Well, congrats, you just made $1,000. You just made $1,000. With that being said, that was a great first show. We'll see y'all tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the episode of FOMO Hour on Rock Radio. Let's go.